Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show live in the On Purpose Woman magazine and global community Facebook page. I'm Jenny Robertson, one of the hosts of the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show, and I'm also the founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine and founder of the On Purpose Woman global community. My guest today is the other host of the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show, Kathryn Yarborough. Welcome, Kathryn.
Thank you. Hi, Jenny. Hi, everybody.
I'm excited to talk with Kathryn today because she is a manifesting clients mentor. And we're going to talk about, she's going to tell you what that means, I'm sure. And we're going to talk about the 5 reasons people don't have more clients and what to do about them. Before we start talking about what I think is a really super helpful topic for business owners, solopreneurs, especially people who are heart-based business owners, I want to tell our audience a little bit about you because there could be somebody watching who doesn't know about Kathryn Yarborough.
Jenny, let me tell you, there are lots of people on the planet who don't know whether or not they're watching us or not. That's okay.
There are probably a few people out there, yes. But as a manifesting clients mentor, Kathryn Yarborough teaches heart-based, on-purpose solopreneurs how to manifest clients and guides them on their journey of growing the businesses their hearts long for. Kathryn is the creator of the Manifesting Clients Academy, an inspirational speaker, and the author of Keep Moving Forward, a guide for the on-purpose solopreneur, available on Amazon. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about the book as we go through our interview. But I'm going to jump right into these reasons why. I'm going to say we, okay? We is one of those people that you mentor. Why do we not have as many clients as we want? And what can we do about it? So you have 5 reasons that you believe that's true. I want to start with the first one is you say that people don't have more clients because they don't have a vision that excites them. Can you talk about that?
All right. In order to manifest all the clients you want, from my perspective, it's really, I'm almost going to say necessary or super important to have a vision for the future of your business and your life where you do have all the clients that you want and it excites you. You want to create it because it's one thing, it's another thing to have an actual vision for your business, but maybe it doesn't excite you. Mm-hmm. And that's not great because then we don't want to work on it. Like I should have 20 clients a week, something like that. And you kind of go, ooh, I don't want that. And it's enough. And the other challenge is whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for a while and you go through a transition and you haven't yet identified a vision that excites you, it trickles down to all the rest of the things that we need to do to create a plan, to actually tell people about what we're doing and where we're going, to design your life. How can we do that if we don't have a vision for the future that excites us? And personally, Jenny, as you know, I spent several years where I circled around without a clear vision. And I circled around. My business stopped. It stopped growing, basically. I had some online programs that I sold for a bit, and I had a few private clients who hung in there with me in different capacities. But yeah, without a vision, that was it.
Yeah. So without a vision, we're not going to be excited about it. And if we talk to other people about it or talk to potential clients, if we're not excited, they're not going to know why they're not excited, maybe, but they're not going to be excited either. So that if we don't do this first thing, it kind of stops us, right? We just don't get anything else done.
And especially, it's one thing if you work one-on-one, and a lot of people do, then the vision for our business doesn't matter so much to other people, but people like you and me who do programs or have a community, then we definitely need a vision that the people around us will be excited about. So not only do we need to be excited about it, but if you are one of the people like Jenny or myself who also want to have a community, or your business is about a community, you have to have a vision that's not only exciting to you, but exciting to the people you talk to.
Yeah, we want them to catch it with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really good one. I think that, and that's really the first step. If we don't do that, we may as well just stop, right? Not go to step 2. Is that true?
I think that it is essential at this stage. I think it's essential to have a vision for your business. I do.
Otherwise, you're going to struggle a lot.
What are you going to do? I want more clients. Okay, but what does that actually look like? And the answer to that question is will give you the vision. Look like. That's the answer to that question. It's not the solution, but it's one step along the way.
Yeah. Well, the second reason that you give is that they don't have a client-focused marketing plan or client-focused offers. What do you mean by that?
So, okay, we need to have a plan to grow our business. And if we don't have a plan, then we won't know what steps to take. And a client-focused business plan or marketing or offers, client-focused offers, is, in my opinion, a really good place to start with creating a plan. And client-focused means that instead of thinking about your offers or what you're going to do with your marketing from only your perspective, you're also thinking about the world of your ideal clients. And you create your offers based on what's going on for them. If we can use you as an example, Jenny, with the On Purpose Woman Global Community, you have a membership offer. And you could sit over in Jenny world and go, y'all all should join my community because I want you in my world. That would be you being in your world. But you've looked at entrepreneurs who are mostly your members, and you've realized that what they want to do is to be able to be seen and heard so that their ideal clients will find out about them. So you give your members opportunities to be featured members, for example, to place notifications in our On Purpose Woman magazine. So different things that they can do so that they're seen or heard, because that's what they want. They're over there, your ideal clients are over there going, how can I be seen and heard in better ways? And you provide a solution for that. And you see that from a client-focused marketing and planning perspective, you know that you get it, that that's what they want. And you've even been saying that more, that you want to shine the light on entrepreneurs to help us know that's what you're up to.
Right. So how do we take ourselves out of it and not, because I think in the early days, I was more focused about what I wanted, because I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to be in my element a bit. So things, and I wanted to run the show completely. And, nobody ever ran meetings for me for the first few years. And I don't really know how. It was such a process for me to make that shift. And I can't really tell you how I did it, but do you know, how do we do that? What's a good step to get out of that me-centered place?
Okay, so there's two things that you're actually pointing to. And let me talk about the attracting clients piece. And then there's another piece that I'll come back to that you're talking about for your journey that's probably useful for all of us. And it's a little overlapping. But speaking of overlapping, I do suggest that our sweet spot as entrepreneurs, there's an overlap between what I want to do, what I enjoy doing, and what my ideal clients need and want, and what they're willing to pay for. So when we get that overlap, that's when we've got, a piece of the sweet spot of growing a business that we love. I mean, another part of that is, are you fulfilling your purpose with what it is that's in that spot? And if you are, gosh, all the better. So one of the things that I do with my clients is I invite them to think of 3 example or 3 sample potential clients. And I invite them to imagine they're that person and what's happening in their world, what happens when they see about them, the actual service provider, what do they resonate with or not, what's going on over here that they would actually pay attention to this person. And when and I'm kind of not explaining this as probably as well as I could, but when we put ourselves in our potential clients' shoes, we can see the world through their perspective. It's a kind of like imaginary exercise. It's not like, it is an imaginary exercise. And when we do that, we can design the marketing that actually makes sense from where they are over there to what are the things that they would actually see and respond to? What is the language that they would respond to? What steps would they probably take if we laid them out for them? And as a marketer, that's what we need to do. So that's one answer to your question. Does that make sense?
It sure does. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I think the other thing, and as a friend and colleague and someone who's been hanging out with you and observing you in particular, Jenny, over the last 20 years, there's another thing that happens to all of us as we're hopefully all of us, and you certainly have modeled this, you've been evolving as a person, as a human being, and you've developed yourself, you got good within yourself, and then you started to realize, well, other people could be leaders. Other people can contribute in my community. I don't have to do it all. What would that be like if I gave other people opportunities? And I think that I think that's just been part of your evolution.
I'll take
as
it.
a person. Yeah. And I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. Reason number 3, people don't have as many clients as they want because they get stuck in negative thinking. I would imagine that's a big one for everybody, anybody who's starting a business or trying to grow a business. I think you've read this too, that, it's the greatest personal growth work you can ever do on yourself is to start a business, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what kind of negative thinking do we tend to get caught in? I mean, what kind of things come up for us when we're either starting a business or trying to expand and get more clients?
Well, there is a huge variety. So I'll name a few things that I've heard or that I've experienced, and this is not limited to that. But one big thing is, I don't know how to attract clients. It's a story. It's just a story. And you don't, and there's some truth to it. If you've never attracted a client, truth to it. It's something you get to learn. And sometimes our stories have this truth. And then it can be something like, I'm not good enough. Or compared to them, I don't know what I'm doing. That sort of thing. And then there's things like, well, everybody I talk to says they don't have enough money. And we can believe those stories. So there's so many stories. And if you just take a moment and you probably, if whoever's listening to this, if you do have any stories, you know exactly what we're talking about. You take a moment and write it down. What are the negative stories that swirl around in your head that stop you? Because the problem with them is it shifts our vibration. It has us repel clients instead of attract clients. Our negative stories will have us not take the actions that we know we need to do. It's really powerful to change those stories. And they're very powerful if we don't.
And what is a way that we can catch ourselves in that negative thinking? I mean, other than just noticing what we're thinking, but I know I probably had a lot of negative thoughts in my earlier years that I didn't even know I was being negative necessarily, but yet it was affecting my results. Do you have a tip for how we can catch ourselves in that?
Well, anytime you feel bad, anytime, take a moment, pause, and ask yourself, what was I just thinking? What was I thinking about? And there's likely a negative thought going on in there.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yeah. Okay. So we're now on number 4. And it's called Don't Take Action. And let me go back to 1, 2, and 3. Again, let's say you do 1, you have a vision that excites you, but you don't do any client-focused marketing or offers. You stop there. You can't really jump forward to the negative thinking because you've still got stuff you have to do back here. And if you don't work on the negative thinking, it doesn't matter what kind of action you take, right? Because actually these are all action steps. But what I'm trying to say is that we can do the first 3 or not. But if we don't do 1, 2, and 3, taking action is probably not going to happen. I think that was what I was trying. What do you say about that?
You're probably right. And I think, it's really interesting. I was on a client call yesterday and she was all about, I'm not consistent enough. And which is about taking action, taking consistent action. And it pretty much anybody's going to tell you how helpful it is to take consistent action, especially once you discover that there are things for you to do that are helpful to do. It's good to be consistent. But But anyway, it was really fascinating. She discovered that she has, during the call, we talked about that she has an inner rebel. And the inner rebel, I think, was really pointing to all the things that she thought she should do were what other people were telling her to do, and they weren't really what was true for her to do. And so all of these things are multi-layered, all of these things. So I think a lot of times people don't take action because of perfectionism. They don't actually do anything because it's not perfect enough, or because of different things. Let's see, let me just think for a second. Different reasons people don't take action. Fear. There could be something that they're scared of happening. And so I'm getting into solutions. We're coming back around with solutions, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I won't say. So anyway, if we don't take action, we don't get any results, period. Okay. So even if you've done the first three but if you haven't done those first three, it's hard to know what action to take.
Yeah.
So it all does connect.
I just want to say for myself, one of the things that I've noticed over the years is I won't take action if I think it's going to be, well, often I don't take action because I think it's going to be harder than it is, or I think I need to know more than I know. And I don't know if you've ever had that experience. And once I get into it, I'm going, this isn't hard at all. And it's like, oh man, I've been struggling with this for so much. And, that's why you need people around you to kind of help you out with that. So
it is true. It's very true. I just want to say it's very true to have some sort of community or coach or somebody outside to give you some perspective, or a good friend who's also an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, are we going to step number 5 or the reason number 5?
Yes, which is our old experiences hold us back. What do you mean?
So I like to say that we have stuff in the trunk. So if we look at the journey of growing a business, like going on a trip in a car, which hence, if you have not yet seen the cover of my book, Keep Moving Forward, the woman, it says On Purpose Business. She's in a car. If we look at this journey of growing a business is going on a trip in a car, she's got to know where we're going. Let's say she's going to Seattle. She's got a vision. What does Seattle look like? That means, what does your business look like? What does having clients look like? And then she's got a plan. It's a map. We can come back to all of these things in more depth, but just as a general thing. And then she's talking to herself in a way that feels good, that's supportive of her going forward to Seattle. And she keeps doing things and moving forward, taking action and learning. And then if in the trunk, though, if there's those old stuff, bunch of crap that weighs that trunk down, even though she was trying to do all that other stuff, she may never leave the garage or the parking lot or the driveway because there's stuff in the trunk. So old stuff might be an old experience. If you've been an entrepreneur for a while and you're wanting to expand, but you've had some experiences with clients who rejected you, you may hold yourself back from putting yourself out there because you don't want to feel that sense of rejection again. When in fact, it's normal for people to come into your life and leave your life. And so if we can just keep showing up and keep moving forward, it's great. But we've got to look at the stuff in the trunk, open up the trunk, look what's held us back, what might be holding us back. Some people have experiences from their childhood, messages that told them they weren't good enough, or it's impossible to grow a business, or maybe one of their parents tried to start a business, but they failed. And so they don't want to be better than their parents were or something like that. There's all kinds of stuff in our trunks, metaphorically.
Yeah. So get that junk out of the trunk.
Exactly.
Okay, talk about how to do that. We're going to circle back around now. You ready?
I am so ready.
I'm going to go back to the first reason that people don't have as many clients as they want, and that is that they don't have a vision that excites them. You talked about what that looks like. Now talk about how people can start to have a vision that excites them.
Well, good. I'm going to do that. But I also want to say, if anybody's watching this, if you've got a comment or question about any of this stuff, please, please, please post it. I'm going to check that. Jenny, looks like Jenny's checking it right now.
Right now, yeah.
And we're going to keep track, because I do want to respond to your questions about manifesting clients. As you can tell, I am so excited about this topic. And I just, yeah. So you'll let me know, and I'll also check if anybody has any. So definitely post your questions if you've got any, or comments. And of course, if you're watching the replay, tag me so I will see them and can respond. But anyhow, back to having a vision. So as I shared before, I went for a few years without a vision for my business, and I circled around, and then I met what I call my future on purpose self. And for me, she has shown me a vision for the future that excites me. And it's a huge, huge, big vision. And it's going to take me several years, I believe, to actually get to a place where I am her. And a lot of that transformation, like what I was saying, Jenny's gone through, she's changed a lot. Well, for me to become my future on purpose self, I'm going to be going through some transformations as well, which is very exciting and a little scary and daunting and intimidating. But my point about all this is that you too have a future on purpose self. She is the future you who is fulfilling your divine purpose with your business, if it's best expressed through a business. And if you get to know her, she can show you a future for you that is probably more exciting than anything you could possibly imagine for yourself. So we all have an infinite number of futures in front of us. I think, Jenny, I don't know about you, but until I met my future on purpose self, I really didn't think about connecting to the future. I just sort of looked at my life where it is right now, and I thought, well, what do I want when I would do my planning? Well, what, from this perspective, what do I want to do over the next 3 months or year? But this experience of meeting with my future on purpose self, it has me go, wow, I do want to go there. It does give me that sense of a vision, a place that I want to go in my life and with my business, that, okay, I want that. And it wasn't made up from here I am, what would probably be a great future is, 20 clients a week or whatever. Right? Does that make sense?
It does. And I can agree with that, because I've done some work with you, and I've met my future on purpose self, and I've talked with her, and I've seen what she's doing and where she is. And for me, it's all about, there's more feeling in it than if I'm just doing a plan or a goal, because unless I can envision me actually doing it, the plan or the goal is just another thing on paper. It's another thing for me to do, which is important. But it's not just about doing. We have to kind of be and feel into that future person. So that keeps us excited. It's more of our vision. It's our vision that keeps us excited, obviously. And the more we're excited, the more I'm excited, the more apt I am to take some risks, to make some mistakes, to keep going. So yeah, I think it's a wonderful creation that you've brought to us with that future on purpose self, because when you get to know her or him, it's pretty exciting. So thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things that I do with myself, and I invite my clients to do, is to build a relationship with your future on purpose self. So you first have to meet with her, and then you need to build a relationship with her. And as you do, she can show you what I call the next leg of the journey, the task for the next leg of the journey. My future on purpose self has given me the task of getting myself out there. Jenny knows this. I've talked to her about it a little bit. And one of the things that I have done up until now was I would take people on a guided journey in a workshop or an event that they paid me for, and I didn't share it with anybody else in terms of meeting their future on purpose self. But what I'm getting now is that it is right for me to create a free guided journey that I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks and get it up on my website, so people will be able to meet their future on purpose self. And then if they want to keep getting to know her better, then of course I've got the Moving Sidewalk Movement, which is my community where people get to build a relationship with their future on purpose self by going on a guided journey every month and tuning into what she's doing and what wants to happen between now and there. And so we can keep designing our plans based on becoming her. But anyhow, I just wanted to say that, because anyone who's listening, if you'd like that guided journey, it's not ready yet. You can message me on Facebook. You can comment below. Just type in guided journey. You've got my email. You can email me guided journey, and I will send you the link as soon as it's ready to opt in to get that.
That's really exciting, Kathryn. Thank you for offering that. Yes, take advantage of that. Take advantage of that, because it's not something I don't think I could have done that by myself. Even if I'd thought of this idea of the future, whatever, I would get too much in my head, I think, unless I was able to just have somebody else kind of moving me along with it and giving me the freedom to just dream really big. So I think that's exciting. So you want to move on to the second one now?
I think so, yes. So, well, let me say one more thing about in terms of manifesting clients, because this is important. And if we even don't get to very much detail for the rest of it, but we'll see, because Jenny and I love to chat here. But anyhow, when it comes to this vision, the next piece, and this ties in actually with the second thing, which is planning, your future on purpose self may give you a really big vision. She may not, but mine is really big, because as I said, it's going to take me several years before I'm fully her, and then there'll probably be another level to my vision. When it comes to growing a business and manifesting clients, we need something that's right in front of us. So I also recommend, while tuning into her, think about and asking her what wants to happen in the next year. So you actually get a 1-year vision. So if you're moving forward towards becoming your future on purpose self, where will you be in 1 year if you're taking action? I also explain this in the book, Keep Moving Forward, a guide for the on purpose solopreneur, which you can get on Amazon. And there's lots of exercises in there that support this process as well. But anyhow, I wanted to say that because then as we move to step number 2, then the planning makes sense, because what we're doing is we're manifesting that 1-year vision, typically, is what we're working on. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does. It does. Before you go into solutions for step 2, I wanted to do a plug for your book, because your book really goes into great detail about all of these steps. And it's written in such a way that you can read it and then do something and then get some information and think about things and go back and go forward. It's a resource guide more than a book. It's a resource guide. So I encourage everybody to check it out. And if this kind of thing interests you at all and you want to move forward and get more clients, check out Kathryn's book. It's the best. It's not just the best one I've seen on this subject. It's the only one I've seen that does it the way that you do it. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Why don't people have more clients? Because they don't have this focused marketing plan, this client-focused marketing plan or offers. So how do we get past that problem?
Well, you got to make a plan. So there's no doubt about it. I'm sorry.
Number 3 now, when you move to number 3, you got to make a plan. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and first step in making a plan, especially if you follow me with the client-focused marketing plan and business planning, is you need to decide who your ideal clients are. And that can be so tough for some people. Mm-hmm. So many people. If this is you, you are not alone. So many people want to help everybody who could possibly need you. But the clearer you are about who you love working with and who will most likely pay you that you love working with and what their needs and challenges and problems are, the easier it will be for you to design your marketing, to write what's called your copy. Copy is like a term for what you write when it comes to marketing, to create your solutions, your offers, your packages, because there'll be solutions designed specifically for your ideal clients. And so I want to share something personal, Jenny, about my own business. Okay. So in 2017, I decided I'm working with heart-based entrepreneurs. When I first started my own business, it was back in 2001. I started as a dance movement therapist, and my ideal clients, I decided back then, were women who had body image issues. Made sense. I was a dance movement therapist. I had worked on an eating disorder unit. I understood body image stuff. And then as I moved along and learned how to attract clients, I discovered that I knew some stuff about attracting clients, and I did a workshop back in, I think, 2006 for entrepreneurs on how to attract clients. And that was the beginning of me working with entrepreneurs. And then I did not commit to working with them until 2017. It was one of the things that got me out of that swirling experience that I had, that I described. And I decided, because heart-based, on-purpose solopreneurs and small business owners are my favorite people to spend time with. And I love to talk to people about business. But I started the Manifesting Clients Academy soon after that. And my focus, for the most part, has been about providing helpful stuff for these people who want to manifest clients. So their problem is they didn't have enough clients, which is why I'm so excited talking about this. It's like, I was so excited when I realized this is a topic. When I remembered this, I was like, yay, I love this. But what's happened for me in this last week is that I got even clearer. My ideal clients want clients, but as important is that they want to become their future on purpose self. Yeah. And it's like rocking my world to realize this. Partly because, not, as you said, you've got to go through the guided journey to really know who your future on purpose self is. So how will anybody know? So I'm trying to figure out how to do client focused marketing for this. So there's going to be a few pieces that I put together as I move forward. But the clarification that my services are solutions for people who want to become their future on purpose self, it's like, oh, yes, I'm so excited about this. And that's what happens when we get clear about who our ideal clients are. It feels like, yes, orgasmic. Okay, I didn't say that. Yes, I did.
That's all right. If people can relate to that, that's a good feeling that a lot of people like. So why not use it in other areas of your life, right? So now you got me all unfocused here. Let's see. Oh, I had a question or a comment. I don't remember what it was now. Oh, I think all I wanted to say is to anybody who's watching, especially the newer you are in this whole thing of business and trying to get clients, just know that every step we take brings us more options, brings us more clarity, brings us more. And it doesn't mean that you're wishy-washy or you can't make up your mind. It just means that you're getting clearer about what it is that she wants, your future on purpose self, and what it is that you can do right now to be her. And because I think I judged myself a lot sometimes for like, oh, I want to do that. No, I don't think I want to do that now. But it's because I've just got clearer. So don't beat yourself up for getting clearer and getting that aha that says, oh, that's really why I'm doing this. Because that's so, so important.
Yeah.
We're now at negative thinking, third reason. So we talked about what types of thinking we do that's negative. So tell us some ways that we can kind of transcend some of that negative thinking.
Well, I have a tool that I use. I call it the new story process. And I highly recommend that you learn about it and practice it if you haven't already. And I have a free gift for people to download on my website that is available. And I'm going to tell you what the URL is in just a second. So if you want to go and get it, you can. It's a worksheet that will take you through the process of creating a new story. And it's a new story about the future, because all that negative thinking is old stories. It's old stories based on past experiences, old beliefs, the stuff in the trunk, all that kind of thing. So what we need to do is recognize when we go into an old story or negative, icky, bad experience. And sometimes there's some block clearing that needs to happen. Sometimes there's a process of shifting. And so we don't really, we're not going to go into that right now. But I want to let you know that if you practice a new story, if you write it and then either read it, write it again, or say it out loud every day, you'll create new neural pathways. So the old story, while it may be very habitual and want to keep coming back, the more you intentionally practice the new story, the more new neural pathways will develop, and it will be easier to shift back into. And ideally, the new story will not just be words, but as you pointed out, those feelings are so important. It will include images and feelings and sensations. So if you would like to get the worksheet, you can go to Manifesting Clients Academy manifestingclientsacademy.com/free, FREE, gift. manifestingclientsacademy.com/free gift to get a worksheet on how to write a new story. And you can just get started today and go do it.
Yes, go do it, really. I love the new story process. And what it also does for me, not only does it make the old story kind of really diminishes the impact or the charge it may have, but the new story raises my vibe.
Yes.
And when I raise my vibe, I then get more excited about what I'm doing, which then gives me the energy and the vision to keep moving forward. Gee, I think we're on a theme here, and so I really encourage everybody to go check that out. Yes, mine isn't right by my chair. I would pull it up myself, but yeah, please check out that gift and the other one that Kathryn's going to offer, which isn't up there yet, but take advantage of both of those.
Oh, you're too funny. Yeah, I'm just checking on our check to see if I can see anything here. I can't always see it if there's any comments or questions. But yeah, so yes, I love that it raises your vibe. I love it.
So the fourth reason we don't have clients that we want is that we don't take the action to actually get the clients. So tell us how to not just take, what kind of action should we really be taking?
Well, I actually don't know that I can speak to what kind of action you should be taking, rather an attitude. I'd like to say have a take action and learn attitude. Mm-hmm. So whatever you put in your plan is going to be based on who your ideal clients are and who you are. What are the steps to take? What are the things that you decide are things you want to try for the first time, or things that you've done before and they work for you? Whatever's in your plan, whatever you do, as long as you've got a take action and learn attitude, you can't fail, no matter what you do. If you put an event together and nobody signs up for it, whether it's free or expensive, whatever it is, if you say, I'm going to learn from the experience, you don't lose. It will keep you moving forward. Back to one of my favorite things to say is keep moving forward. So you just can't go wrong. And this isn't just what I don't normally even talk about this, but entrepreneurs make mistakes. Well, yeah, we make mistakes, we fail. And I've been reading what other people say or what other entrepreneurs say for years, and they just say over and over again that entrepreneurs fail. Entrepreneurs fail. The ones who succeed get back up again. So if you have a take action and learn attitude, if you put, I have to say this, Jenny, sometimes I just go, oh, please. I kind of cringe when I'm talking to a client and they say they didn't attract any clients. They worked on the plan a little bit, but they didn't. I say, well, so where did you tell people about it? And they posted it once on Facebook and nobody responded. Yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh, people, there's so much more you need to do to test out any offer. You've got to get it in front of more people. You got to take action and keep putting yourself out there and make sure that before you quit on something, make sure you've got it out there.
Yeah.
You got to take
action, take more action, take some more action, keep taking action. Yeah. Because I used to feel that way too. When I sent them an email, why didn't anybody respond? And you also talk about, and you touched on a little bit earlier, that, when we take action, I think I tend to think that everybody's just waiting to see what action I took so they could jump right on it, and people are busy. People are distracted, I think about myself and how often do I have to sometimes see things before, not just before I decide, but just to even notice and think that I might be interested. So, give everybody else the same kind of break we give ourselves in that. But yeah, they're not just sitting around waiting to hear from you, I don't think, but as much as we think they should be, right?
Oh, seriously. Okay. If only everybody on my e-list opened every email and then clicked the link forward to anything that I was offering and signed up for it, I would be a very successful person.
Actually, you'd be too busy to take all the business that you got from that. So isn't it a good thing they don't, right? Okay, let's go to the fifth reason, these old experiences. You touched on that a little bit about, things from the past or things that people around us have actually told us, things like that. So how do we transcend some of that thinking? Again, it ties into negative thinking, but it's not exactly that, I don't think, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's all of this is related in some way or another. It's all pieces of the same puzzle. But I think I think it's important to look at what's there. Just pull it out and look at it. There are some people who say you don't have to look at your old stuff. You can just clear it energetically. Mm-hmm. So that's fine if that works for you. Hallelujah to that. For me, my stuff hangs around a long time, and if I pull it out and I look at it and then I look at what I want and can kind of recognize how this is holding me back, then I sometimes have a little bit more power to choose this and to not let the old thing hold me back. But there's a lot of great people out there on the planet doing energy work and healing work that can help you look at what's there that might be holding you back and release its control over you. And I think that until you've done enough healing work that it doesn't control you, it's hard to make the choice. It's hard to just pull it out of the trunk and go, well, you're not so important to me anymore. This is actually more important to me. So I do think we need to sometimes do healing transformational work. And sometimes it's helpful to have another person.
And sometimes what's in the trunk is just a big old blob of stuff. You don't even know what it is. So it is really important to have somebody help you even identify it before you can release it. So yeah, it could be just big old pile of old tires or something, So, okay, well, let's see. Right, I think this would be a good time for you to tell everybody how to get your book, how to go on your website, mention those free offers again, whatever else you want them to know about the work that you do and how they can find out more information.
Okay. So my website is manifestingclientsacademy.com, as I said before. And if you actually want more clients and you might want to be your future on purpose self, what we've talked about today excites you or interests you, and you have a sense that you have a future that's calling to you, that wants to be created and be where you'll be the fullest expression of yourself, and you like who I am, let's have a conversation. I do offer complimentary consultations. And if you go to my website, as I said, manifestingclientsacademy.com, under services and events, there's something like coaching and mentoring. And on that page, you can find a link to schedule a Manifest More Clients complimentary consultation. We can have a conversation about what I do that might be helpful for you. So I want you to know that that's available. And my book, you can go to Amazon, and there are multiple books with the title Keep Moving Forward. So be sure you find The Woman in the Car and me as the author, and make sure you get the one that you actually want, which is my book, because I don't think the other books are like mine at all. I think they look like they're interesting though. And yes, and then we did talk about, I'm going to be creating a guided journey that you can get for free, and it will be a downloadable thing. You'll have to opt in for my e-list so I can send you emails that you will hopefully read, open and read and respond to. So if you're interested in that, message me on Facebook or email me and just say guided journey, and then I'll let you know when that opt-in is available. And the last thing is the free gift, which is the new story process. I'm giving lots of stuff here today. Yeah. So manifestingclientsacademy.com/free gift. And that is the worksheet on writing a new story, which is so, so useful. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for all this wisdom. Do you have any final words? Like, you have one big piece of wisdom you want to leave everybody with?
I do. I was thinking, we named this Want More Clients, Do This. And if you really want more clients, want them. If you don't, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but if you don't have more clients, it's likely something in you doesn't want them. So ask yourself, why do I think I want more clients? Get to the place inside of you that really wants clients. Because if you really want them, you'll do what it takes to attract them, whether it means hiring somebody, having someone like me, a manifesting clients mentor, or someone who's a business coach, or taking some training, or something else that you actually need. And I don't encourage anybody to spend money if you don't need it. I'm not into that at all. There's a lot of options out there, and we can spend our money on stuff that will get us nowhere. But if you want clients, want them, get to the place where you truly want them, and they'll start showing up in your life.
Such a great point, Kathryn, because it's so easy to say, well, of course I want clients. Who wouldn't, right? I mean, you'd be kind of crazy to not want more clients, because that means you don't want more money, right? Or any of that. But yet, who knows what's in there, in that trunk floating around, that's keeping us from really wanting them. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And is that it? Are we done with that?
I feel complete about that.
Okay, I do too. Thank you so much for that, and for sharing all of that with us today. And I think everything that you do is so critical to helping. And I want to say, these are you help people who are really on that path of wanting more, and wanting to do it from the heart, of wanting to do it maybe a little bit differently than traditional goal setting. And, while that's all part of it, but there's got to be something else going on, and you help us all tap into what that something is. So thank you for that. And then thank all of you for joining us for the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show, live in the On Purpose Woman magazine Facebook page. If you love this interview and you want to share it with your friends, it will be on our YouTube channel in the next 48 hours. Go over to YouTube and look for On Purpose Woman Global Community. Subscribe and sign up for some notifications so you don't miss any of our shows. There are a lot of informative, inspiring, and fun shows right now for you to watch on our channel. But there's just 2 more interviews this year. Wow. I know. How did it get to be this late in the year? I don't know. I sound like an old, one of those old timers talking to me. I can't believe how fast the times are passing right now. But this Thursday, I'm excited to talk with Dr. Tony Hatton about how to turn your defining moments into your destiny moments. And on Monday, December 13th, Kathryn's going to turn the tables a little bit and is going to talk with me about belonging, networking, and business building, how to find a networking community that you love. So thank you again for watching the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show, live in the On Purpose Woman magazine and global community Facebook group. And come see us again next time. Bye.